Okay, here we are. Let me check if everything is okay. I apologize for my voice. I'm very sick. Okay, here the voice looks good. I said I'm very sick today. I have a fever, but show must go on, and I want to continue to make this project together online here. So I hope somebody else will join me. Let's. Okay, the chat is working. So, how are you guys? Last time, if you remember, let me put this screen. Okay, here we are. We finish with the scaling of the costume of the Helldiver. In the meantime, if you follow me on Instagram, you saw I finish all the costume. I print everything. I had also tested the proportion is quite good. Just the shoulders here, maybe I made a little bit smaller, but it's okay, it's good for me. And after this one, after we scale everything, if you remember, I showed how to export all in different files, and today we start from there. I will show to you how to start to orient it better, these kind of places, because I saw many times people ask me when I post some story on Instagram how to orient it the parts, because every time they have some issue with support or not very good orientation. So the first part I will show you how I orient it. That doesn't mean that is the best part, but it's something that works for me. It works for me, so you can follow this one, you can upgrade, you can make something different. I will show you my way. In the meantime, I want to show also the helmet that I find a better solution for the lens here, because with the PTG transparent, as told you last time, it was not good enough. So what I did is just take my classic old style, I don't know if you can see here, visor, yeah. And it's pretty good because, as you can see, it's very dark. It doesn't have the pattern here like the original one, but it's good enough for me. But the important thing is that I can completely see from inside to outside, but you cannot see from outside my face. So it makes a very good effect. And the most important part is that it's very simple to use and very cheap. Just take, like I showed last time, some PVC transparent one. This one is black one. There's not too much light today here. Yeah. Block with the tape. And here we are, ready to go. It makes a very good effect. Let me put away this one because today I need some space. Let me put back here my mannequin that I'm using for scaling everything. Here we are. Today I told you I'm a little bit slow because I cannot breathe and I'm very sick. In the meantime, today I will start to see how to, this one is fall down, connect this part together after you print in several pieces, because also many people ask me every time how to connect small parts together. As you can see here, just put some strong tape just for all together and check if the scaling was good. So this one is just for make a guide for me. And today we'll start to assemble. I will show some of the tools that I'm using and why sometimes I use one tool instead of another one. And I will start to make it in the live. But first one, let me go smaller here because we continue our working here. So this one is all the armor. What I did is export all the file already scaled to the size that is suitable for me. And let me see if it's working. Okay, good. And start to prepare to print. This one is Orca Slicer, and because I print most of the part with the eSUN V400, and it works very good because, as you can see, you can put a whole project all here in one page, and it's more easy to see and understand which part is missing. And another part that I really love it, that Orca and Bamboo and the Bamboo printers doesn't have for now, is that I have the possibility, after I prepare all the files, just slice and upload inside the memory of my printer, for example, in the V400. So I can port all my project there because I can just upload without print. So after I finish, I upload, start to work to another piece. And when it's ready, I can directly continue to print from the printer. I don't need to upload every time the files. This is something nice because when it's printing, I continue to work, upload the new files, and after I found all the files there. And it's something that is missing with the Bamboo, for example. And before we start, it's arrived my AMS. So I start to print something multicolor with for my son. This one is the X-ray manta from the STL Fix. And this one is printed with the eSUN PLA white, lightning blue, that is this kind of blue, almost transparent a little bit. It's not real transparent, but it looks like it has this effect. And I think it's very, very cool for printing something like this. I really love this kind of blue. It's not fully transparent, but you can definitely see through a little bit in feel. It looks like the bones on the skeleton of the fish. So even if it doesn't have, but on the sting, he has. And I also make the eyes here with the black matte and the generic red from eSUN. It's come out very good. It was my first print with AMS. I got some issue at the beginning, but I'm figuring out how to make it good. And I lost the focus. And it's working. And most important, my son love it. So I'm very happy. So let's come back to the important things. So after you have all the object here, remember, very important to work with object files, not global, because sometimes you want to use stronger in fill, sometimes you want to use more dense, snag support or tree supports. So in this case, if you work on the object, you can make every plate or every object, even in multiple plate, with different settings according to what is better for you. And also, most important, here you have all the name of the files. That is more easy to find what are you looking for. So let's start with the first part here. This one is part of the central chest. And as you can see, have this strange shape. So what I'm usually doing is try to find the most flat surface and stick and put on the bed on this part. Normally, I use this option here, lie down on the face. Here you have two solutions, or you have this big one here, or you have this one flat here. What's the difference? If I'm using this flat surface here, as you can see, it's very straight here, but we have all this part with a huge overhang, and probably you need to put a lot of supports all around here. So it's always better to avoid to use the support, and also try to use always the same orientation, because if your printer is not well tuned, you can have some little gap. Some part can be a little bit larger. For example, when you print the cube, it's not exactly every time 20 millimeter, for example. With the X on the Y can be different. So try to use always the same orientation. So if you have a small defect on sizing, sorry, you have the same defect and it becomes suitable to manage the part. In this case, I prefer to put the flat bigger surface here. So I still have some overhang here, but it's more inside, and I should have less support. So after I put, honest, always I try to put straight. This is just for me. We select our support, and I start with a highlights overhangs of 30 using the automatic fill, and check every part is colored to put the support. Here the base is totally flat, so we don't need the support. As you can see from outside here, all this part, they don't need supports, and is exactly what we like to do. Inside here, we need some support. When it's something so smaller, it's better to highlight a little bit more and give a better and bigger area. so he has more stable support and it will not failing. For the seam, now I'm still using my manual seam, but I will try to check in the future with the, where it is, with the new scarf seam, because on Orca they still didn't put, but Bamboo Slicer we have this new feature that is called in scarf that should totally remove the seams when it's possible. So for now I'm still painting the seam manually inside here, as you can see. But this is ugly. Let's make the seam like this one, okay, and let's put back the support. Here, you better may put a little bit more, but anyway, it's inside, so you will not see too much. As the support type, let's see the difference. If you use tree organic, for example, and we go to slice, what will we have is something like this. See if somebody join me. Nope. As you can see here, we have a brim that is always good to put, because if you warp a little bit, they will not match the parts together. As the support, we only have this big tree here. It's very large, it's very solid, so you should not have any problem to print in this way. And it costs 102 grams. If you put snugs, there will be more slim support probably, so I think you should consume it less. That's, you cannot see here, but it's generating, is 110 grams. Yes, it took bigger support. So in this case, I think 3 support is best options to print this part. And this is how I oriented the part. I always try to find the most large flat surface, so have a better adhesion on the bed. And most important, try to avoid as much as you can to put the support in some visible part. In this case, you reduce the chance to have some imperfection or some part that is not very nice and clean. The same here, I just make these 2 plates and after start work, that is more interesting part. Select the part, lie on face, 1 and 2, and this part is good like this one. Of course, now like this they are too close, they can easily collapse and touch it together. So when it's like this, you need to see if you have the chance to put 2 pieces in 1 part. Normally I prefer to put 1 part every time in the bed, because if for any reason a part failing, it will bring also the other one with him and wasting a lot of material. So I always prefer make print 1 by 1, but this is on me. We put the support here. I like a little bit more here because here is too less. Select the other one, select our seam, support 30%. As you can see, all these parts have the support only in the inside, and is exactly what we like. Try to avoid to use the raft in this kind of part, because first one, it's very big and flat surface, so it's not strictly necessary. But the raft, it will have more imperfection on this line, and because this line is where you need to stick together, it's better to have as clean as you can. Now, as you can see here, this part has some problem because it has wrong support. Remember, you can select different support and different option, and it doesn't have the brim, outer brim. So now, like this, it should have the same 3 supports everywhere. Let's check. Okay, we have the brim, we have the support only to the inside. The seam, as you can see, is going pretty most of the time inside. So this one is the best. What I think is the best way to print a piece like this one. You can print 2 parts together, 6 hours and a half, I always print a little bit slow, as you know, the outer wall 120. Sometimes I go even smaller, like 70, because I want to make less post-production possible. So if I put it a little bit slower, you don't lose too much time, but you will have definitely better outside surface. The inside and feel is not a problem. And this becomes 6 hours 43 minutes. Before it was 6 hours 43 minutes. I'm very sick. Yeah, 6 hours 27 minutes faster, of course. It's just 20 minutes faster. It's not a big difference, but the quality of the part can worth to print 20 minutes more slow. Okay, so after we print our piece, let's go to check how to glue it. I have many different tools that I'm using. Usually I use the soldering gun, because when the part is bigger like this one, I like to melt together the part, and is what I'm probably will use in this case. This is very good. I'm using the normal glue for plastic, very simple, and I'm using the super fast glue. This one is a two-component glue. One is the glue, one is the accelerator. You apply the glue to one side, you spray the accelerator, the activator, to the other side. You just connect, and in 2 seconds, maybe even less, the part, they will stick immediately. It's very good if you have some part that have some connection and you are sure that you put correctly. In parts like this one, is not very good, I think, for me to use, because as you can see, when you put the part, you need to push a little bit to find the perfect orientation to match, that it doesn't have any gap, it doesn't have one part a little bit forward and the other part back, because otherwise it will be a problem to paint smooth. And with this glue, it's too fast, you don't have time to align and put it good. So normally when I make something like this one, I prefer using normal glue. It take maybe 20 minutes to dry completely, so I have the time to, after I apply the glue, to put a lot of tape to stick in position, to be sure that all the joint and the line, they are match each others and working good. If I need to glue some part, for example this one that I made the last time with the eSUN EPLA Magic, these are two half part with the pins. It's very simple to glue it. In this case, you don't need to have situation that you need to put correct or not. Just apply the glue, spray, close, 2 seconds, and it's ready. When I need to assemble something, I need to be sure that the part align, so I'm using the normal glue. I'm using some stucco for cover the gap between the two parts, sometimes when the part is very big, and for close the small gap, usually I'm using also a 3D pen with some easy same PLA inside. So this one is more easy for cover the small gap, and it will be more easy to sand and make most smooth part. So let's start to work. Let me change here with the other view. Okay, here we are. Now I need to find a better way. First one, I need to remove all this tape here that it was for exposed on my mannequin. This one was for connect the front and the back. Because you need time to stick and making good, usually I make half right, half left, and after I stick the two parts together in this case, because we have 4 parts. But before start to glue it, you need to preparing the parts. So first, let's remove all the tape that was just for put on the mannequin. Ah, this tape is good because is what we're using for the packaging. It's very strong, so it helped me to keep in position. It's a very strong tape. Okay, this one is the first part, and we make these two parts for now. So now I put this other part. Okay, this one I can remove it for now. Bye bye tape. The first part that we need to do is, because I said that here we have the brim, is to remove all the excess part of the brim. So you can see here still some small part. You can feel it more with a finger. I'm using this kind of blade that I can simply pass like this one and remove the extra part. Otherwise, when I will glue it, they can trick me and I will make not straight. In this case, with this blade, it's very simple to remove the extra support or the brim. This part, it will goes like this one. As you can see here, there is some small imperfection that can happen when you print. So first one, I need to be sure that all this part, especially because I use the texture at the PIE, it need to be more smooth. So it's more easy to the glue to work. So first one, I just give one faster sand with the 240. Just to make this surface a little bit more flat. Very fast. Just a little bit. As you can see here, this one is the seam, you see? That is very obviously inside, but outside we don't have. This is why I always painting manually, so I can put inside where I don't care if you can see more, but from outside it will be good. After I give a little bit of sanding that helps the glue to stick well, I make on the other side. Okay, so after the two parts are sanded, are sanded here, it's time to preparing the glue and the material. So first one, take some tape that I will use as guide for stick the part together. Start with a small part outside. Yeah, one and two. And this one I'm using as guide for put it straight. You can see after I put the tape, I apply the other part and I will block with the tape to keep it a little bit in position. This will help me later with the glue. Be sure that you put correct. This is very important because if you put not a line, after will be a big problem if you want to make it very smooth surface. Okay, like this one, it's quite good. As you can see, if you pass with the finger, you can feel it that is almost straight. A little bit more push inside, so I will do it. So I will prepare more tape to put around after I apply the glue, so I can stick in position. So take my glue, I put aside, so here I can flip like this one. Put the glue. The tape, it will help me more or less to keep the same position as before. Just to don't glue it to your finger. And here we are. I'll almost stick my finger. After I use this two part to help me to put this side. Here you can see is not flat, so I have time to adjust before the glue is to dry. This is why I'm using this small glue. If I use the strongest glue with accelerator, that one was already glued and I need to break it. Here we are. And this one is the first part. Now, after heat dry a little bit the glue, few minutes, I will start to put the 3D pen to cover the small gap here and sand it for make it smooth. Now, let's make the other side. I need to remove the flap, all the other small part. Usually I like more make the helmet, not the armor, because the helmet they have already the connection with the magnets, so it's more easy to keep it in position. You don't have to make all this kind of stuff. But when you want to make something very big like an armor, or you have a huge printer, and can be a good solution, but also you need more time to print, and if you have a small failure, you're wasting a lot of material, and it happened to me. Oh, this is why I don't like to make too much armor anymore, because it takes a lot of time for sanding and for make this part stick together. This one goes here, and also here I need to sand it. So let's start. Okay, a little bit to make more easy to stick each others. Preparing my guide. To do this one is my way to make this stuff. You can use different way to glue it. Some people use the resin. There is not a good way or bad way. Until you got the result that you like, it's perfect. So that's important is, yes, also if you have someone that can help you to make this part, it's better because two people works better. Okay, more or less we are. So the important is this part, if this one is forward and one is back, when you stick the two part here, you will have a gap. You always have a small gap, is normal, but like this one is reasonable, you can sanding. If you have bigger gap because you glue it wrong, it's a little bit a pain to fix it. With a little bit part of the brief that is remaining here, always have some sandpaper with you. So preparing the blocker for later. One is the brick. I consume a lot of this tape every time. One and two. Put the glue because I sand this part is more easy to grip. And here we are. Straight in position. Okay. Let me put the block to the side to keep it. One and two. Very good. Okay. If you pass with the finger, I feel that there is not a big gap, so it's meaning that it's good. Okay, close the glue. for now I don't need. Okay, now this one should be already dry enough. I can send a little bit this side to preparing for glue the two parts together, and after start to apply the 3D pen and stucco. Now, we still some glue here. Now that on the front the glue is working good, I can put more tape on the back for now to keep more stable position. Later I will remove it for soldering, but for now I need it for glue the parts together. It's better you make all the parts before start to soldering on everything, because if you make a small mistake, you can still have time to recover. Here, you don't worry if you have some glue from the tape. Once it's covered a little bit the gap, so it's also better. Where is my basket? Here. Now we need to glue these two parts here. So I need to remove this one. First one, stronger connection on the back. If somebody asks something, nope. Uh, it's here we are. This one I can remove it. Slowly, slowly. I don't want to move the plastic around if it's still not very solid, very strong. So let's sand a little bit also here, so the glue you will keep better. And preparing the tape again. Now I don't say that I consume one tape every time I make one armor, but almost. Okay, here we are. Oh, I put very big. Again, sorry for my voice is very quiet today, but I'm sick. I really want to finish this project, so I decided to make the live. Doesn't matter what happened. Apologize for the voice. Let's put these two parts here, because if I don't start, I will never finish. I have many other projects to do. This part is bigger, is a little bit more annoying. That's why I said if you have somebody that can help you to make this part, it's more easy. At the beginning is it can happen that you put it wrong. It happened to me many times. It still happen now sometimes. Okay. Anyway, this one is just to keep the two parts near for putting the glue. As you can see, the connection is very good already. Preparing the block. One. And two. Out my glue. Open it here. And put the glue. Stick. You see, when you put the tape like this one, it's more easy to find the position. Okay. If you have a small gap here, don't worry. The important is see the bubble. It means this one is to up or to down. That is important to avoid, because that one will be more difficult to fix it in post-production. The small gap here is not a problem at all. Okay, here I finished to use this one. And here we are. Better put more tape in this face, in this stage, because he needs time for drying and he don't need to move. If he move, it's more complicated. Okay, so now that we have our chest glued, we need to melt the back to make sure that this one it will not move anymore and cover the gap in the front. So for melting on the back, I will use the soldering gun. For cover the gap in the front, I will use my 3D pen. So we start from the back. So I connect my soldering gun. Okay, pay attention that it becomes hot very fast. And remember to use a mask because you are melting the plastic. So now we'll take a mask. Because when you're using the soldering gun, like this one, you are melting a lot of plastic and the vapor is very toxic. So always protect yourself, guys. It's a hobby, but we don't need to risk. So now my voice will be even worse. Hello. Start to remove the back. If we start to melt the plastic, when this one is hot, you can see I can just push. Don't push too much, otherwise you pass to the other side. Make this section left and right. And like this one, you will melt the plastic and stick together. Don't push too much or you will finish to make a hole to the other side. Don't worry if you make a lot of ruined the part inside. It's the inside we don't care. But in this way, you really melt the plastic together and make a very strong connection. For bigger part like armor, I found this one is one of the best way to make it. Don't pass to the other side. You need to make this one for all the line that you glue it. In this way, you have very strong bond, and you need to really throw on the floor for let them break it. Oh, oh, this one is very solid already. Make the other slowly, slowly, otherwise you can break the plastic. Stick my hand. Sometimes I use the metal blade to put inside, but I find it's more annoying to remove every time the extra part I made in some previous video. This one it took a little bit more time, but is more simple to manage. Melting the plastic. Okay. I'm gonna make one side and another one, so it's stronger. Okay. Now you understand how long you need for making one armor, guys. It takes a lot of time. Okay, here's finish. Now it's missing the center, and we can pass to the front side. So from here, there's a little bit more big gap here. Probably it was almost warping the brim. But this one, you see, I can push the plastic in the middle, also cover a little bit the gap. And this is strong, like you print in one piece. Very good solution. Just pay attention to don't make too strong, or you will damage the other side. Some people also make like this one, slowly, to seal the gap. It's possible. I tried once, but it's very difficult to make it smooth. It's more easy to make a mess. So I definitely not recommend it to make something like that. Attention when you touch, because it's very hot. I almost burn. You see all the fume of the plastic that you are melting. That's why you need to use the mask, guys. Safety first. Don't joke on this one. Okay. And try to cover the small gap from the back also, so stronger. Here we are. Meaning only here, and we finish from the back. We pass from the front now. Okay. Yeah, from inside you can see that it is very dirty. Okay, let me unplug this one. Normally, if you want, wait. Normally, if you want to remove this, you can sand it a little bit. Sometimes I put like 0.5 millimeter foam strips to cover, so you don't touch this part if you don't like it. But really is external, is internal. External, you don't have anything, so is not a problem. Now let's put back this one inside. Okay, because we need to work to the outside. I always prefer to keep some tape. Better have more than less. Let me remove this one, because now I need to connect my 3D pen. I don't have the same filament now to put inside the PLA Plus of eSUN, so I'm using the PLA matte. Here I can select the temperature. I can put 220, so normally 200 is enough, but it will melt faster. Okay. You need quite time for reach the temperature of this pen, so in the meantime, I turn on, I start to remove the other tape from the front. Here you need to pay attention to use it, because you don't want to ruin it too much, because here you need to sand to make it smooth. So we try to apply just one small line all around. In the meantime, I heard my P1S finished to print. I make one big action figure of Stellar Blade after I will show to you. And now we start to print one huge U-Forge Spider-Man Morales with the eSUN PLA, red, blue, black, and white. Yeah. This one is better keep it a little bit. This period I want to enjoy a little bit more with the multicolor because I just bought the AMS finally, very late. I also tried the most important for me, the AMS, to print something with the PLA and using the PTG as support interface. I don't think I have here the samples because it was very small and I think my cat dumped away already. But it works good. You just waste a little bit of filament for purging every time. But it works good because after I print, when I lift from the bed, it really remaining only the PTG and PLA on the plate, and the support come out so nicely and smoothly without left any imperfection. Let's give a little bit of sanding to remove some. Hope the glue that's fall down didn't open. Yes, okay. I'm saying to give a little bit of sanding to remove a little bit the glue. This stick here. Look at the glue. This is the glue from the tape, not from the acrylic glue. So this one with the hot water, it will go away. Just remove a little bit now. Anyway, as you can see, it's already very strong, the connection. See, this is the totally glue from the. Anyway, this part we need to sand all, so they already almost seamless here. And now we need to add some PLA. Using PLA with the PLA, it will make more easy to sand later. If it's something smaller, some people use the resin, but when it's big like this one, it's better put some PLA, in my opinion. Okay, the 3D pen should be already hot. So now I can start to, if I remember how, here. It didn't start to heat at all. I don't know. Okay. Start again. Yeah, I think it's a little bit gap. Maybe I didn't put too much attention here. And I will need to sanding a little bit more to make it more smooth. The pen is almost heating. I always use have a 3D pen. Before I thought I bought for try to totally draw in something, but I found that is beyond my ability, and I'm using for making this kind of joint, and it's working much better. Okay. Why it doesn't work? What happened? Let me put more 45 degrees. The sharpening is 3D pen, a little bit a toy, so sometimes it doesn't grip the filament. Okay, now he grip. You have the speed, how fast it can go, the melting. The extruder, you can go 300 millimeter by second. No, I'm joking. Okay, start to purge out all the filament. Let's purge it here. Okay, we start to have the black. this 3D pen start to have some problem. Let me remove all this dirty here. No, bad choice, it's very hot. Okay, so I put a little bit medium speed. Press forward here and apply slowly, slowly. As you can see, I pass all the line and cover the small gap. After I can easily sending all this extra PLA. Hmm. I'm still not very precise to make. This is the reason why I give up to use the pen for drawing something. But for my purpose, it's okay, really good. Okay, remaining here. Here there is some detail I want to avoid to cover. Okay, just like this is enough. So now I can retract the filament, so I can remove it slowly, slowly. It's a funny toy, this one to use. Okay, so now I can lower the temperature and turn off. And you can use all the leftover from your filament when you almost finish the PLA. So let's get down the temperature so it can cool down. Okay, it start to cool down. So now I can start to sand this part. Normally I sand by hands, but I want to see what happens if I'm using this one. If I don't remove it totally, or still can do it. No, you're removing totally. It's too strong. But you're remaining a little bit inside where is the gap, so still good enough. Probably the PLA depend, you need to use more time if you feel that it's not smooth enough. You see the extra part is pulled down, but inside it's remaining. In this way, you should cover already most of the part of the print. And here it doesn't enter too much. Okay. Need to apply a little bit more here, but it's already almost disappear the lines here. Here I need to apply a little bit more PLA. This is just the sanding for the 3D pen. After you send it for good. Here I need to start with the machine because I put very badly. As you can see here, the PLA enter better. We cover much better the gap. Here I need to cover a little bit more. Okay, it's totally fall down. Yeah, I put it really badly. Probably was not hot enough, so it dry, it cooled down too fast and solid too fast. Need to be much more hot so it will melt more and squish more. But as first apply is already quite good. To pass with the finger until you don't feel that there is no more gap. Here I almost remove the gap. Okay, now remaining here. Remove the external. Here it looks much better. Here the PLA enter much better inside. Who knows why? Okay, here I need to send a little bit more. Cover the gap. Okay, it's already much better. Well, this one is the first stage to cover the line. Now that almost the line is almost flat, you need to send more and more. Until you don't cover all these small lines. Until remove the excess. Opa. Can you use also the blade? Yes. Yeah, I come out very badly. I need to put again. Okay. The big part that was interested is this central that it has the big hole. And now the black PLA enter. Remember, when you are sending, especially with the machine, don't insist too much, especially if it's PLA, because if now it starts to become already hot. If I continue to send it, I will melt the plastic. So this one need to let it cool down a little bit before continue to remove this small gap here. But most of the part is already good, remaining a small gap here to cover. But overall, it's okay. Let me come back here. Yeah, as you can see, this one is the glue from the tape that is very smooth already. Here remaining a little bit here is already covered a lot. This one with some stucco, it will come very good. This one also is just to sand. It's glued, it's strong, and it's ready. It's ready for start the real post process. This one is a way that I'm doing for joint the parts together. You see, first one is the glue after the soldering on the back, so it become very tough. And after, to cover the gap, I can use the 3D pen or the stucco. Now for this small part here, we'll use a little bit the stucco, waiting 24 hours that heat dry well, and sending away. And yeah, I'm very happy. It's come out very good already. And this is just the first part. Need to repeat this process 2 or 3 times to cover all this gap here. And it's ready to sand and paint. So guys, thank you as usual. I hope this tutorial can help you to make the, how to say, to see how I send and make the connection, the parts together. So that's all for today. Thank you for joining me. As usual, remember to subscribe to the channel, to activate the bell, thumbs up, so every time there is a live, you will get the notification. Once again, sorry for my voice, I'm very sick today. So I'm Silver. Thank you for watching me. See you next time. Bye bye.